Some individuals prefer eating their slice of pizza crust first, while others constantly put on their left shoe over their right. We all have our own little behaviors that make us particular. But there's a special grouping of men called Sigma males who have some extremely intriguing ways of performing things. They have some lovely weird habits that most individuals don't know. Concerning. They do not do it on purpose, it just comes simply to them. So let's give a look at 7 weird things that all Sigma males do. Number 1, they constantly have ways to leave, ready for any social environment. When it arrives to large social gatherings, not every individual feels right at home. Certain ones. People thrive in crowds soaking up the attention, while others might feel a very little out of place for Sigma men. Big social things can be a bit overwhelming, and they constantly have an exit method in mind. They might appear confident on the out, but inside, they're frequently taking note of possible escape routes. If items get too boring or overwhelming. Do you know how you might naturally map out the nearest exit? When you move into a movie theater, that's precisely how these guys think, but they take it a step further. They keep a mental illness checklist of possible escape routes during any social event. It's like getting a secret game plan tucked away in their mind if their bodies spot a chatty stranger governing the exchange or feel the party's energy going downward. They know exactly how to slip away without causing a scene, but don't get it turned. It's not about running out or dodging responsibilities. These men are practical. They recognize that remaining too long and awkward situations can train their power and ruin their feeling. It's not simply a habit, it's an approach. They scan the open space, noting the positions of doors, staircases, and even exits that are somewhat less evident. Number 2, the Sigma male's mind works overtime, dividing every conversation and interaction long after the social event is over. You may think this is strange, but think about this. Have you ever left a party or obtaining and replayed the evening in your head? Perhaps you considered what you said, how you acted, or even how others answered. For these guys, it's a whole different level. They can spend hours analyzing who said what and why, whether they could have said something differently, and what the underlying motives might have been. What may seem like over-analyzing is actually a means for them to think back on and gain knowledge from their social experiences. They pick up on details that other people would miss and are frequently able to read between the lines, so this is more like a pastime or a mental workout than worrying over talks. It is an odd habit, but it helps them better comprehend people and their underlying motives. It is not just for their personal benefit, it also helps them develop their abilities for when they encounter similar circumstances in the future. Thirdly, they steer clear of being in or taking pictures, which may seem odd. You won't often see Sigma males posing for photos, even when they're at a beautiful event or a beauty page. This isn't because they're camera shy, rather, it's because they don't see the need to use photos to prove their existence. Continuously snapping pictures detracts from living in the now and appreciating it. While some people may take hundreds of photos at an event, the Sigma male boldly strikes a different chord. He'll take one shot, maybe 2 if he's feeling generous, and move on. But it doesn't stop there. For many people, capturing the ideal moment with a photo is essential, but for Sigma men, it's just not their style. They simply feel that one good picture says it all, despite not being in front of the camera. Because they are more introverted and may not like being the center of attention, Sigma males tend to avoid being in pictures altogether. It's almost as if they dislike posing for pictures. You may see them standing in the back of group photos or attempting to blend in behind someone else. Being in a picture implies that everyone is watching them, which is something they try to avoid at all costs. Finally, they prefer dogs over most humans. When it comes to casual acquaintances or larger social groups, the interest of many Sigma males quickly wanes because they are tired of the little talk, fake relationships, and the same dull conversations that most people frequently engage in. They find it exhausting and a waste of time, especially when they could be doing something more efficient. For Sigma males are not antisocial. They just have a few close friends that they trust and enjoy being around. These guys enjoy a relationship with their dogs that few others can match, but pets are more than simply animals. They are cherished members of their inner circle. It's not only about finding solace in the simplicity of an animal's presence. They value their devotion and find comfort in their non-verbal communications. Introverts tend to prefer this kind of connection to the chaos and cacophony of social engagements. Of course, this does not imply that they do not like the company of certain people, but generally speaking, having a pet is preferable since pets don't bear the same burdens as humans. There is no gossip, no judgment, and no idle chatter about the weather or dull work-related anecdotes. The true camaraderie that a dog's tail wagging offers is difficult to discover with persons number 5, who like in-depth conversations but detest small chat. Small chat might seem futile, like running in circles discussing the weather, the newest sporting event, or what's on TV. It's like making noise without actually saying anything. While some individuals are all about the fluff, when it comes to speaking, there are Sigma guys who go further in an effort to understand someone's ideas, feelings, and viewpoints. Many people stick to these safe discussions, but they just don't cut it for others who desire anything more. Talking about the newest celebrity rumors only scrapes the surface of what Sigma males find fascinating. And when they get caught up in a small talk loop, their eyes may glaze over and their thoughts may wander. They are not attempting to be impolite. Their true desire is to engage with others on subjects that pique their interest and intellectual stimulation, which is where Sigma guys thrive. Other people shuffle into dull talk, but these men look for conversations that go against the grain. They would much prefer sit back and listen if a discussion isn't interesting to them, or even switch the subject altogether. They may even avoid conversations that don't interest them. But when they do meet someone who appreciates talking about complex subjects, they become interested. It's such as finding a similar spirit. They'll engage and open up. Speaking like old friends, even if they're just met number 6, they silently leave parties despite saying goodbye. Have you ever spotted how individuals are just masters of falling away unnoticed? When it comes to parties, many Sigmas take this to a whole new level. They're not the ones who hang around for big goodbye or long hugs. They quietly gather their issues and fade into a background as if they perished into thin air. It's practically like a magic trick but without the flashiness or showmanship. They're not rude or avoiding people on purpose, it's more about comfort. The idea of saying goodnight feels awkward and they might anticipate the mindfully that comes with it. So they choose to exit like the shadow, lacking any fuss or fanfare. It's just how their bodies are, and most people who know them recognize this and don't take it privately. But for those who don't know individuals well, it can really throw them off. While it may seem weird to others, just another method that Sigma guys value their personal tranquility and independence is by not feeling the necessity for formalities or lengthy farewells. 7th, most individuals heavily utilize exclamation marks and happy faces in their communications, but they hardly ever employ emojis or other excitement-filled punctuation. Not because they have a dull personality, but rather because they want to be plain and straightforward. Sigma guys tend to be quiet and precise in their communications, without all the gaudy frills that others rely on. Emojis can be a little confusing. For example, a smiley can indicate happiness or sarcasm, depending on the situation. For Sigma males, this kind of ambiguity can be frustrating because they prefer to use words to express themselves instead of the extra layer of interpretation that comes with emojis. Similarly, exclamation points can come off as a bit excessive. If they do use one, it's usually to emphasize something really important or exciting. This doesn't mean that Sigma males lack any emotions. Rather, it simply means that they express themselves differently and prefer to use words rather than symbols. Others may mistake this and think they are stoic or cold, but it has nothing to do with how they truly feel. They just behave more subtly when expressing their feelings.